Hey you guys, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the California Beach collection from Virago Varnish. This is releasing on May 20th. It's a set of 5 neon bleached creams. These were sent to me for review and I'll jump right into the swatches. So I'm going to start today with Malibu. This is a bright corally salmon orange pink shade. This one reminds me a little bit of China Glaze's Flip Flop Fantasy. It has that instant tan enhancing tone. So here is a brush shot. All of these creams are very, very pigmented, really creamy, not too thick. This is actually thinner than the Boardwalk collection creams. So here is one coat of Malibu on my natural nail. This one goes on really easy. It is still a little bit thick. You can't really tell because my camera didn't want to bring it out, but it is a tiny bit streaky. I think if you did a thicker coat, you could get away with one coat. I'm going to let this dry and then come back in for another. I was expecting these to dry down matte, but they actually dry to a glossy finish. I waited on these to dry forever, but they actually dry fairly quickly. Here is the second coat of Malibu. This is going to bring it completely opaque for me, and they will dry down to a nice glossy finish. Here is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. Next up is Huntington. Huntington is a soft, buttery yellow that's still bright. It's very pastel. A bleached neon pastel yellow, if you will. So I'll compare it to the yellow from the Boardwalk collection just so you can see if they're similar or not. This is Summer Highlighter of My Life, and you can see that Huntington has almost no green in it. It's a really soft, buttery shade when compared to Summer Highlighter of My Life, which is more intense and bright. Huntington is still really bright on the nail, but it's a much softer color. So here is a brush shot. And I'll show you how Huntington swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Huntington. This one goes on really easy too, especially for a yellow. I think Virago Varnish does yellows really well. This one is still a tiny bit streaky, so it will need 2 coats for me. Maybe with a thicker coat, you could get away with 1. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for the second coat. Here is the second coat of Huntington. This is going to bring it completely opaque for me and help level it out a little bit. All these polishes do level out, but they do so sort of on the slower side. So that's Huntington at 2 coats. Here's a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. So next up is Coronado. This is that bright honeydew, soft, bright mint color. If you've seen my top 10 favorite greens, you'll know that I love this shade. So I'm going to compare it to the green from the Boardwalk collection again. This is I Can't Kelp Myself. And you'll see there that they're completely different. I Can't Kelp Myself is a true bright neon lime green. Coronado is on the softer side, but still bright. So I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Coronado swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Coronado. Again, this one's going to go on really easy, really smooth and creamy. Just a tiny bit of streakiness that you'll want, or I wanted to do a second coat for. Again, if you're comfortable with a thicker coat, you may be able to get away with 1 thick coat. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. Here is the second coat of Coronado. At 2 coats, this one is completely opaque for me and it helped clean up my edges a little bit. Here is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And here it is once more from an angle. So next up is Venice. Venice is a soft, bright pastel blue, like a powder blue shade. Really pretty. You're not going to mistake this one for white on the nail. It is a very bright, light blue. I'll go ahead and compare it to the blue shades from the Boardwalk collection. So this is Paradise Pool and Lifeguard Lagoon. You'll see that Venice is very much a shade all to its own. So I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Venice swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Venice. This one has a great formula. I feel like this may have the best. All of them are pretty close in the same, but I think Venice is the easiest to go on, for me at least. So here's one coat. It is just a tiny bit streaky, so I will let that dry and come back in for a second coat. Here is the second coat of Venice, and this is going to bring it completely opaque for me. Just help even it out a little bit. This one is definitely a favorite. I could not pick a #1 favorite out of this collection. Every time I would move to the next polish, I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, I love this one. This one may just barely have the top for me. So here is a look at the completed mani. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. So lastly, I have Laguna. Laguna is a very soft pastel lavender shade. Really pretty. I'll compare it to the purple from the Boardwalk collection. This is Booze Cruise, and these are not even close to being similar. Very different shades. So I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Laguna swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Laguna. Again, this one goes on really smooth, really easy. Even with a thicker coat, I don't feel like they pull so much toward the nail. They will get a little bit thicker towards the edges, but still really manageable. So here's one coat. This one was really almost opaque in one coat. I am going to go ahead and do 2 coats. Okay, here is the second and final coat of Laguna. And that's going to bring it for sure completely opaque. This was another top favorite for me. I feel like they all were, but this one was too. This is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. So that rounds out my swatch and review of the California Beach collection from Virago Varnish. I will link her storefront down below. These will be stocking on May 20th. If you'd like to see more photos, including macros, you can head over to my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com or follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. I will be featuring these on this Friday's But Do They Water Marble, so stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.